Now I make good coffee.
Your coffee is very good, and I think local celebrity is exaggerated. Probably local notorious.
I don't know.
Figure.
Several people texted me and called me and said, Russell's back. And I was like, he is. It was so sweet.
Yeah.
It made my day to think that you're just been around forever. It wasn't like having to reintroduce you. You know what I'm saying? It was like, here he is.
Well, I mean, it's great just being back in town. And, you know, we've been coming back and forth for about 2 months now, maybe 3 months, and seeing people around town. And now people are starting to text me, have you moved back to Florida? And I was like, yes, kind of, sort of. And
hey, you're not too far both ways. You could get there in a few hours.
No. So, yeah, our primary home is in Savannah. And we try to be in Savannah on the weekends if we can, and then every other week we're down here in Daytona. Just
how long does it take you to get here?
3. It depends on who's in the car. If it's me and the dog, Knox, the therapy dog, it takes 3 hours and 15 minutes.
If the wife's in the car?
If my wife's in the car, then we make bathroom breaks. So it just depends. It could be
5, 6, 8. Because if there's a good restaurant along the way.
Hey, we know where all the good ones are in Jacksonville. So right off the interstate. So that comes into play also. And we might stop and do a little quick exit and get some Thai food in Jacksonville, things like that. We enjoy the drive. When Donnie's with me, we enjoy the drive a little bit more. We take our time a little bit more. But when Knox and I are on the road,
men are like that. Done. When we go into a big store, we're in there for hours and we're just touching and stuff. When guys go in, it's get the one item and get out. So it's kind of like that driving too. My husband's got we're doing it. When I'm in the car, did you see this? And he's like, okay, do you want to stop?
I call it surgical shopping, when you just go in, grab it, and leave.
Oh, that's a new word for it.
Yeah, and that's my own phrase. I tell my wife, today I'm in a hurry. Can we just do some surgical shopping? Means go in, go straight to the item, get it, don't look left, don't look right, go straight to the...
We have a new catchphrase. New catchphrase. So tell me about, how did it go the other day when we did our little interview about rewriting history?
Yeah, Love Rewrites History. So that's our other little project we're doing. And it for people that don't know, that is, we've started a petition to have people recognize October 10th as National Love Your Enemy Day.
I love it.
And, we're just on the forefront of this. We've only been doing it a couple weeks. I think yesterday I looked and we had 85 signatures. So we're still on the low end in that way, but we're getting response from all over the country.
Right. So that's all that matters.
Yeah,
and we're worldwide right now. So how do we do it?
People are calling and asking about it that I don't know. So I know it's a movement that has real possibility because people are really interested. People are contacting me. People are signing up. We don't know. We've had people out in Oregon sign up. We've had people up in Michigan sign up. We've had really people all over the country.
That's exciting.
If anybody knows anyone in California, call them and tell them to sign it.
I do know somebody in California.
We need someone from California to sign it.
Well, I will text her in a few minutes because there's a time difference there. Now, one thing I have learned about when you do anything, make sure you actually click the button at the end.
Yeah, you got to press send. I think a few people are doing it. They say, hey, I just signed it. And then I look and their name's on it because they forget to press send on the signature. But you just go to loverewriteshistory.com. You can see our website. You can read more about what we're about and what we're trying to do. And then join. And then just join.
And you'll get an email back that says you did join. So if you didn't get the email, you didn't do it all the way.
You didn't do it right. Yeah. Right.
But, just do it again. It's not like, just, and I don't do it again if you join.
And one person did do it twice. And so we don't overcount our petition. We just delete one of them.
Right.
But it's all online. It's real signatures, which is real important because we want to be able to show community leaders, politicians, people that, this is a movement that has real backing. And it's really exciting because people are truly embracing it. But I do notice there's a hesitation among leadership, which is normal. Leaders are always more careful because they don't know what they're, they want to make sure that they're getting involved in something that's not going to come back and bite them. We're completely politically neutral. We do believe in the message that Jesus taught to love your enemy, love your neighbor, love your family, love your enemy, basically love everybody. But I think right now what we need is a lot more love of enemy. And on the website, we're going to be talking, we have a monthly newsletter. We're going to be talking about practical ways you can do that, or if there's barriers to that, because some people have been deeply hurt. One lady called me and said, "Hey, I saw your petition. I just can't sign it yet because I've been so hurt." And I said, "No, I understand that. And one thing we want to make clear is that it's not about passivism. We're not saying that you have to put yourself in the path of harm.
Right.
You can protect yourself. You don't have to reconcile with a person. Reconciliation takes two people, where forgiveness or love, that can just depend on one person. And even while you're trying to right a wrong, you can still do it through the posture of love, as we said on the show the other night.
I've been thinking about a lot since then, and I was thinking about Erica Kirk, who went during the service, said, "I forgive that young man."
Yeah.
Now, she didn't name him or anything, you know what I'm saying? She just made that bold statement, "I forgive that young man." And I think about that, and I think about how many of us just need to forgive.
Well, it's really, forgiveness is for us. The thing about it is, when you carry unforgiveness, you're chained to the person, or you're chained to the memory. And forgiveness, like when I work with people in counseling, a lot of people confuse forgiveness with reconciliation. They think if they forgive someone that they have to re-enter a relationship with them. And once they understand they don't have to do that, I think in some cases it's good to be open to that if it's a non-abusive type situation. But if there is not the capacity to have a healthy relationship, it's okay to forgive someone, but then also let them float out of your life.
And I love that you explained that so well. And I know that you're getting ready to do something else here.
That's why we're here today, the very end of the show.
With your better half. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Well, she's the better 3/4, and I'm like 1/4.
So tell us about what you're doing also. I mean, you got all this stuff on your plate, and you have fine time to come in here, so I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, my main job is, I'm a therapist. I'm primarily...
Your main gig?
My main gig is marriage counselor and also individual counselor. I'm a licensed mental health counselor here in Florida, and I'm a licensed professional counselor in Georgia, and so I drive back and forth.
So you're not professional in Florida?
Well, they just have different words for the same thing.
I know, but I just had to throw that out there.
Same menu items, and one calls it, like soda, the other one calls it pop.
Right.
Same thing, different word.
I know, I just love it. I had to say that. I was thinking about that the other day when you said that. I was like, so we're faking it here. No, just kidding.
And so last year we hosted a marriage workshop, and we did it at New Smyrna Beach, and we did it in a hotel, we rented a room, and it was great. We had 12 couples, and the feedback was really strong. People really learned things to help improve their marriage. The workshops we try to keep them fun and interactive, and so people learn. Mm-hmm. What we don't do is have people share their personal stuff. We don't want to put people on the spot to talk about their personal issues going on in their marriage, but they can come in and they can learn. Now, sometimes Donnie, so my wife participates in it, and she comes in and we role play certain techniques.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, and well, not just that, but we kind of we say, okay, here's a technique on how to use empathetic listening, and this is how you do it, or this is how you do something like we call the stop technique, which is about if you're starting to get emotionally dysregulated, and so all these different techniques. It's very technique driven over the 2 days. It's on a Monday, it's on a Saturday and a Sunday. The next one is November 8th and 9th.
Do you spend the night?
No.
Okay.
No. So it's all for locals.
Well, at first when you said a hotel, I'm thinking, are we spending the night?
Some of the couples did. They did it like a getaway, This time we're going to have it actually in our counseling center. We converted a room into a little seminar room, which it's really large enough, generous, and we're going to keep it to 6 couples, so it's small and intimate, and that way, so we're very interactive, asking questions. And
so do we sign up? How do we get involved? Do you have to? And how long do you have to be married for a certain amount of time?
No, some people even do it for premarital counseling.
Okay.
So even if you're just thinking about getting married, if you're, I wouldn't. It's probably not appropriate for a first date. But
hi, we're going on a date. Let's go get your wedding dress. And
we're going to do a 2-day marriage seminar and say, hey, we just met on
really,
a dating app.
Hey, it could be a new thing.
Meet at the marriage workshop. Yeah.
But marriage is so important, and it's also important you work at it still. I mean, I've been married over 30 years, and it's still a work in progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people think that they get settled. If you get settled, you've got a problem.
Right.
I mean, Tim and I still hold hands. We still date each other. We still do those things.
That's just it. I'm going to tell people how to sign up real quick, and then I'm going to follow up on what you just said. So if you want to sign up or you want just more information, go to counselingsaveslives.com, and that takes you to our Daytona Beach webpage. And then just click through to the marriage workshop. It's big and bold on the front page of the website, and then you can sign up online.
Is there a cost for it?
There is.
Okay, so you do all that
it's a 2-day. The average marriage workshop is going to cost you anywhere between $600 to $1,000. Our workshop is $300 for 2 days.
When you think about that, that's almost cheaper than going to a therapist one or two times.
It's like 3 counseling sessions, but you get intensive work for 2 days.
And you're both together, and you've agreed upon it.
You're both together, and it's fun because it's not like. We're not cracking jokes all the time. I kind of crack jokes all the time. I was going to say, but it's not like we're not going there to torture people. We're going there to learn and
to give tools
and the best light on it. We
all need tools.
Yeah, and so I think couples really enjoy it a lot. So. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit. We were talking about the importance of dating, holding hands, and you said you got to talk about that.
So when I work with a couple, I really look at 4 pillars. When a couple comes to my counseling practice, there's 4 things I look at. The first one is, how does each individual regulate difficult emotion? When they're upset, how do they react to that?
Okay.
Because individual emotion regulation is important. Mm-hmm. When you're upset, how do you deal with that? I always say, when you don't know what to do, just focus on not making the situation worse.
That's a good one right there, because I have to get crazy mad for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm done. But if you don't allow me to bubble up and do that, it, like you just said, it just keeps going on.
It just goes on and on. Mm-hmm. So we talk about a lot of different techniques for individual emotion regulation. The second thing, what people think mostly marriage counseling is, we focus a little bit on that, and that's conflict management. Like when you disagree, how do you handle a disagreement? And I like to say, or I've learned that, there's really 2 different kinds of disagreements. There's solvable disagreements and there's unsolvable disagreements. And every marriage, even the best marriages, have issues that are really, that the couple, they can talk for 2 days. They're still not going to agree on something.
So you say it's okay to disagree?
It's okay to disagree, but how you disagree is absolutely critical. I would say that it's not even okay; it's inevitable. There's just
totally. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, my wife and I, we could talk for a week about where to put the thermostat at night when we sleep, but it's not going to change. She's going to want it at 73 or 74, and I'm going to want it at like 70.
So who gets to decide?
Well, in our marriage, it's my wife. She does.
Okay, now see,
I do anything she wants.
Okay, well, in our marriage, it's my husband. And you know why?
What?
Because I work inside all day, okay? And he's a landscaper, so he's out in the heat and the weather elements all day. Yeah. So I think it's only fair that he choose when the temperature in the home. Yes.
Yeah. Well, really, she chooses
I'll just add a blanket.
She chooses it more during the day, and then at night, it tends to be a little bit cooler than what she likes, but I just get her an extra snuggly blanket.
Yeah, that's me. I just pile on an extra blanket because I figure he works so hard to provide for the family, and that's the least I could do is not worry about a stupid thermostat and ruin my night.
Well, I think you're working pretty hard too, Shelley.
Well, I appreciate that, but I do have an air-conditioned office, so it makes a difference. Okay, so I love that.
So the first one is individual emotion regulation skills. The second one is conflict management. The third one is friendship building and emotional intimacy. So this is where we go away from solving just problems. How do we build positivity?
Okay.
And that's what most people miss is they think, marriage counseling or a workshop is just going to be about how do we solve problems. Then the emphasis is just on the problems.
Okay.
But actually what we want to do is how do we build friendship in the marriage? Because that could be missing. Or it could be improved. We want to build emotional intimacy in the marriage, so we give skills how to grow closer emotionally. We do talk a little bit about, bedroom intimacy. Mm-hmm. We spend a little bit talking about that just to give people, a little nudge in the right direction where we don't have any deep stuff about that at the conference, but we do touch on it. And then the fourth one is shared purpose. So couples need a strong sense of shared purpose.
And what do you consider shared purpose?
It can be anything. It can be a hobby that you both like. You could both like gardening. It could be a sports team. You're both big football fans.
Buffalo Bill, hello.
Yeah, you could both be big Bills fans, put on your Bills shirts on game day, and it could be that. It could be that you have a family business. It could be that you have a ministry. It could be something more serious. It could be that you're working to save the world or promote the gospel. It could be...
I love that you just said that, because it can also be changing, can it? Because, see, Tim and I are totally Buffalo Bill fans together, so we put our jerseys and all. But yesterday he said the most kindest, wonderful thing out of his mouth, and I don't think he even realized
about
he
the
said
Chiefs?
it. No. No, he said, he was talking to somebody about WAPN.
Yeah.
And he said, it's about the one. And see, that's my thing. It's about the one.
Yes.
And when he was telling me what he was telling somebody, my heart just grew bigger. I just was like, oh, I just love him even more, and it was just something so little that is so important to me that he knows that it's important to him too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I think that we don't pay attention to that. Don't you think, when we're married?
It's important to do that. This something we talk about in the workshop also is what we call rituals of connection, the little ways people say hello, they say goodbye, how they connect with each other throughout the day, and also helping people learn to turn toward their spouse as well, meaning when they're talking about something, pay attention, and don't minimize it or turn away from it, but turn toward it and listen and just give them a few, even if it's just a nod or a kind comment. So we talk about all this stuff, and then we practice it.
I love that. So is this the only one you're going to have, or is this going to be a monthly thing you're going to do?
We want to do one monthly here in Daytona. And so right now we have one. The next one is November 8th and 9th.
So we're like 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away. And we really need one more couple. So
you already have a few?
We already have a few. We could squeeze in more than that, but we really need at least one more.
Okay.
And so counseling
that one's
saves
probably
lives.
The one is probably listening right now.
Right. CounselingSavesLives.com to sign up, or you can just, like I said, give me a call. 912-710-3116. You can call me. That's my Savannah phone number, and. And then the next one would be the first weekend of December.
Yeah, and you got to understand, you both got to come.
Right, it's for two people.
Right, well, because sometimes people think, I'll go for the.
I'll teach.
No. This needs to be a partnership going in together and doing this.
Yes.
And is it like all day? As far as what is your all day?
So it's like 9 to 4.
Okay.
And with a lot of breaks, generous lunch break, and we're down over by Beach Street, so there's a lot of good places to go to lunch. You can go to Zen Bistro, you can go to McKay's, you can go to Ichi Nissan, you can go grab a sub at JJ Subs. You
can walk that beautiful park, bring your own lunch, and just sit there by the river.
So there's a lot of places you can go to grab lunch. Plus, we provide, coffee, drinks, snacks, that kind of stuff as well. And so we try to keep it comfortable. And it's in a really beautiful space as well. And this would be our first, really big event there. I think my wife had a painting party there a week or two ago.
She loves to paint.
She does. And she invited some friends over, and they had a painting party in the space. So that was the first official event, but this would be the first counseling center event.
How exciting. So again, tell us how that one couple that you're waiting on goes to register.
Okay, you go to CounselingSavesLives.com and just follow the links to the marriage workshop, or give me a call, 912-710-3116.
Well, that's really exciting. I love marriage, so I love that you're doing this, and I love that Tim and I practice those things, and we didn't even come yet,
Yeah.
But, because I
Maybe
think...
you're the one couple.
Well, I was thinking because, we've been friends forever, and you've taught me a lot of things in life that you probably didn't even know you taught me, and I really feel these last couple of years, I've intentionally made it a bigger effort with Tim. When your kids are growing up, and you lose family members and stuff, I feel like you're being stretched and pulled so many ways, but that's the person you're doing life with.
Yeah.
And we always seem to put them last, don't we?
Well, it is.
And we need to move them first.
Because they're the least path of resistance. If we yell at a customer, we could lose our job.
Yes.
If we yell at our boss, same thing. But we can go home and we can take our family members for granted, or even be more argumentative, and they're more likely to forgive us for a while. Now, sometimes that leads to a breakup.
Right.
But, in the short term, since family members are more likely to tolerate difficult behavior than, let's say, like in the workplace.
Right.
Then a lot of times.
Yeah, Tim should get an award for what he's had to tolerate over the last few years. But, for us, we worked through all the things I was going through as far as life, and changes. Yeah. And it's made us stronger.
Right.
Because we worked through it together. That was very important. So then thirdly, because we have like a whole jam-packed half hour here.
Yeah.
What else is going on? You have a new counseling center.
We do.
Is it new or not new, or just joining together?
Yeah. So I told this Wednesday morning, but we probably have some different listeners today, so I'll go through it again. We founded Port Orange Counseling Center back in 2009. Or early 2009. We had put the wheels in motion in 2008, but we started seeing clients in March of 2009. That evolved into Open Doors Counseling Network. And when Donnie and I, we had this, my wife is actually from Germany. She's from Berlin, Germany. And we had this plan when our kids went back to college that we were going to move back to Germany. So we tried to move back to Germany. The logistics of it didn't work out. And so we had already started selling things and getting ready to go.
You're already purging your life.
We had sold properties, and associated with a counseling center. We had helped other people set up their counseling operations that we were leaving. And so our former office manager, who herself had become a counselor, and she's a really good counselor, Jess Gibson, she said, well, I think it's a good time for me to open up my own counseling center. And I was like, I agree, you'll be great at that. And so she started growing her counseling center 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 years ago now, maybe 2 years ago. And she founded Creation Counseling. So you go to creationcounseling.net for that website.
We needed to bring her in here.
Oh, she would be great, yeah. And then when I told her I was coming back to Daytona to reopen or to put some new energy into our Daytona Beach office, then she proposed that we merge and operate together. So that's what we're doing. We're going to be.
Are you doing that out of your facility, or
both?
Is she? Oh, okay.
And so she has her Creation Counseling Port Orange. And then we'll have Creation Counseling Daytona Beach.
And I laugh when you say that, because I always say Port Orange is Egypt to me. Yeah. And people laugh at me. I go, no, because, I'm just a local girl that I can get anywhere in 3 minutes and I'm happy. Once I have to spend more than 3 or 5 minutes in a car, I'm like, oh, it's forever. Port Orange is not really that far, people. Yeah. And that's great to have 2 locations so that, you can meet people either place. Now, what kind of counseling do you do at these 2 different places? So
we're all professionally trained, means we're licensed by the state. So we do licensed mental health counseling. We do marriage and family therapy. We have play therapists that work with children. We have therapists that specialize in work with teenagers and their families. And then we have people that work with individuals, and we also have people that work with couples.
So you're full service.
Full service, and everyone is professionally trained. We're Christian, and so if someone comes to us and they're not Christian, we honor that, and we just do professional counseling. We might still, if they're open to it, we might still pray with them or talk to them about, the things that scriptures teach and what Jesus taught us. We might talk about those things, but when people are Christian, then they come, then we can honor that, and we can integrate that on a much higher degree into the counseling.
So how do we get to see you guys, talk to you guys? What are the requirements?
All you have to do is just have the desire to want help, and then call our numbers, or go to creationcounseling.net, or go to counselingsaveslives.com.
I personally know several people that have went to your practice before, and teenagers and young adults and different things that you've really been able to help, and I appreciate that. And one great thing about Russell, you are a phone call away, and yes. I do appreciate that. You really do talk to people if they just are in the middle of a crisis at that moment. I mean, you at least, I don't know if that's because you know me, but you have literally in a moment when I'm like, okay, this is happening. How do you get help?
Yes.
You've literally been able to direct our family. This is what we need to do. And I really appreciate that about you. And I'm sure you're still doing that, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. People call. They can, like I said, they can call me directly. I'm very happy to help.
And, that's unusual.
Well,
it is.
That's how
Customer service is very unusual in this world, I think.
Customer service and just being
Customer care.
or just people care, Yeah.
So how would they call you again?
912-710-3116.
Or go to the website.
Or go to the websites, creationcounseling.net or counselingsaveslives.com.
Now, do you take insurance, or is counseling?
Two of us take insurance.
Okay.
So not everyone does. And we also have access to resources to keep counseling affordable. Yeah.
I knew that also, but I wanted to make sure that people understand, because, it's getting that way in the world, people. Not all medical stuff is covered. And so
Right.
you have to just make that decision. Is your well-being worth it? We spend money on everything else. Why do we do that? We don't put, and that's self-care. Getting help, going to somebody that you can talk it out with, rationalize things with, that is self-care.
See it from a different perspective and get some wisdom and experience. Yeah.
Well, we've got like 1 minute, maybe two.
Yeah.
So should we end it with all the websites, all the phone numbers? How would, because we've talked. Tell us
I
again.
think the marriage workshop. That's why I'm here today.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, "I'm very happy that you went on the radio and talked about love rewrites history. That's important, but go back and talk about the workshop."
No, and I agree with her.
Yeah.
And she's a smart lady.
She is.
So we need
Yeah.
that one couple for this next one.
Yeah, and we can fit in more than one, but we need at least one more.
Okay, and so
Yeah.
how do they do that?
counselingsaveslives.com.
And they can also call?
And they can also call 912-710-3116.
And that's
And they
2
can
weeks
text
away.
that number, by the way, too.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good that you said that. And that's like 2 weeks away, and it's
Yes.
here in Daytona Beach.
It's in Daytona Beach. It's from 9 to 4. We have breaks. We have drinks, snacks, things like that. And then you'll be on your own for lunch, but we give you a lot of time for lunch. And since we're right next to Beach Street, tons of restaurants.
Yeah, but you do have to come back to finish
Yeah.
your course.
Yes.
And that is November 8th and 9th.
November 8th and 9th.